So Kings 11 Punjab won a third game on the trot, and with this they boosted their chances of making the top four even more.
Honestly, till the end of the first innings, I thought it would be Shikhar Dhawan because of his record-breaking innings. Fourth player to reach the 500 runs mark in IPL, and I mean, for 12 years he hadn't hit a century, and when he did, he hit two in a row, becoming the first batsman. But I think I will mention two things here. One, I will have to mention the turning point, which was the fifth over. Chris Gayle hitting Tushar Deshpande for 26 runs, and the hit for me would be Nicholas Pooran, because when KL Rahul got out in the power play, which is a rarity for Kings 11 Punjab in this season, and then Mayank Agarwal was run out, the pressure and the onus was on the Kings 11 Punjab middle order to deliver. And we know that they've been over relied and relying too heavily on their openers, and so I really thought that this was, from there on, after the first two wickets, it was Delhi's game. But hats off to Pooran. He really stole the game away and didn't let the required run rate, creep up too much and get out of hands, and occasional boundaries. And then he started, hitting the top gear. And against bowlers like informed bowlers like Ashwin and Akshar, who have been very, very economical. So I think he was my hit, and a match-winning innings for me, for sure. And I mean, it had to be someone like Rabada to get him out with that wonderful bouncer. Hit his gloves, but for me it was cool. What about you? Who was your hit of the game?
I think it was Glenn Maxwell. Him batting for 24 balls in itself is a hit for Kings 11 Punjab.
That's true.
He found it very hard. He's found it very hard in the middle with the bat. For the past few games, he's been very economical with the ball. So his all-round performance today, that's why I made him my hit of the day. Is because with the ball, it was 1 for 31. He was second most economical bowler for Kings 11 behind the informed Shami. So him bowling and conceding just 31 runs in his 4 overs, that was phenomenal. Because even though Dhawan made a century, the final total was just 164. It was a chaseable total. So in the end, that made a difference. Him with the ball against two left-handers, Dhawan and Pant. Pant just scored 14 of 20. So that ploy of KL Rahul worked out in the middle. Maxwell was constraining Pant, and Pant was finding it difficult to time the ball. So that worked when he was bowling. When he was batting, I think these 24 balls were extremely crucial for him. And moving on, I think Kings 11 has one of the strongest middle orders. With Neesham coming in instead of Chris Jordan, it makes it even more strong. So I think if everyone is in form, Kings 11 Punjab has a huge chance of going above KKR and making it into the playoffs. So that's why Glenn Maxwell hit the day. So moving on, Shivansh, who do you think was the miss of the day?
For me, it was Prithvi Shaw, and he's in a very big hole currently. He was coming into this match on the back of 2 consecutive ducks and just 4 runs to his under his belt before this match, and you would expect him, under the leadership of players like Dhawan, Iyer, and then you have a coach like Ricky Ponting, they would have spoken to him in the dressing room, asked him to calm down, play a level-headed innings, and that is what was required of him today, because Dhawan was in fine form. And when you have a player like Dhawan who's scoring freely, you just have to be there. You can afford to take your time. You can middle the ball, and especially after not having scored in the past 2 innings. But I think it was good captaincy from KL Rahul, because Jimmy Neesham is a very tricky customer. He's not an outright pacer, but he has enough pace to make sure that his variations work out. So he did really well. A length leg cutter that was dragging wide off Prithvi. So he made him fetch the ball, and he knows that Prithvi likes to go play lofted shots in the power play and get the ball up and over the infield. And since he was completely out of form, his head movement was bad. His feet were all over the place, and it was like a proper recipe for disaster. And that's what his innings eventually turned out to be a disaster. So I really feel that he's been out of form for the past, and this was the 7th dismissal in the power play in the 10 innings, and since 2018 for the 24th time. And with Rahane in the ranks, and he was dropped today so that Pant and Hetmeyer could come in. If I was the captain, if I was the coach, I'd definitely send Rahane in to open the next game. Give the youngster some time off. Let him cool down, let him get his act together, and maybe because he has a lot of talent, there's no doubt, which is why he's opening for a big franchise in the IPL. What about you? Who was your miss?
So talking about my miss, I think the entire top order and middle order of Delhi, at least even if one of them, had scored a 25 or score of 30, because the second highest score was just 14.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between the first highest score and second highest 92 runs, that's just too much. And if one person had played a cameo, say a 10 ball 20, even a 10 ball 20 would have done. And I think the player who was capable of doing that throughout the tournament, it was Marcus Stoinis. He's going through a rough patch in the last few games too. And I feel this time he was a big miss with the ball as well. He just bowled one over. You saw Tushar Deshpande struggling. The youngster was struggling. So he's just a youngster. This is a learning curve for him. But Marcus Stoinis, he's an experienced international player. Him going for 14, Shreyas Iyer, lost so many options in between, and that was a problem. So Marcus Stoinis, with the bat and the ball, I think he was very rusty today. If he had stayed there till the end, say he would have faced 15, including Shimron Hetmeyer's ball, he would have faced some 15 to 16 balls. Him scoring 30 in those deliveries, that would have added some 15 to 20 runs extra in the Delhi Capitals total, and that would have been a challenging total. They could have defended that. And with the ball, he could have stuck to the base. He could try to mix up things, and it was always going to be difficult with an informed, say, Puraan, and that was a big miss, and that's why overall Marcus Stoinis should have stepped up in this game, and he missed that, and he ended up on the losing side. So RCB at number 3 versus KKR at number 4. So Shivansh, who do you think, or what combination do you think would work out in the battle, within the battle tomorrow?
Honestly, I'd be looking forward to the middle order of the Kolkata Knight Riders facing off against the spinners, and because especially coming off the last game, they managed to steal off, pull off a heist in the super over. So even though the game was theirs to lose and they almost squandered the chance, and luckily they won the super over courtesy Lockie Ferguson's brilliant spell. I would look forward to Chahal bowling against Dinesh Karthik and Owen Morgan, because both players are very good. They're very good players of spin. And Owen Morgan, with his sweeps, with his reverse sweeps, he can negotiate most spinners in the world, and he can negate that turn effect. So I am looking forward to that. And secondly, Dinesh Karthik, now that the burden is now off his shoulders now, I would expect him to play more freely, and he did in the last match. He made 29. And he's again a very good player. When RCB, we've always seen that Chahal and Washington Sundar bowls in the power play, and he bowls a very economic spell. He'll bowl 2 overs and then he'll come back in the middle overs along with Chahal. And Chahal is someone who's a very fearless leg spinner, and which is what makes him dangerous, because he's not afraid to float the ball up, pitch the ball up, because he knows he will deceive the batsman at some point. So it'll be interesting for me to see how how Kings 11 Punjab middle order faces him. And talking about Abu Dhabi, I mean, KKR has played 5 games, they've lost 2, and both of them were against MI, and RCB has only played 1. So I don't know that it could also prove to be an advantage for KKR having played 5 games compared to RCB as well. What battle are you looking forward to, Dominic?
So talking about battles, I think Finch is having a battle against himself, so he's running out of time, and him along Padikkal, I think Padikkal is in form. He's younger of the lot, but he's in form now, and Finch has to learn a thing or two from him, and stay long. An opening partnership will be very crucial for both teams. Talking about Kolkata and RCB, so in that case Finch is not in form right now, and again, as I told, he's running out of time. Josh Philippe is waiting there outside. He can, come in any time, because he's an exciting talent. He's done a lot of wonderful things at the Big Bash League. So Finch, it's now or never for him. He has to play that one big knock, at least now, against KKR. A win will take them almost, the doorstep of the playoffs. So they just one from there. So I think this will be very important for Finch. Especially now they have Lockie Ferguson. I don't know why KKR didn't play him in the first 8 games. Eight games. Ninth game he just comes in and takes a 3-4 and bowls a wonderful super over. I think they missed a trick or two. And Sunil Narayan, I don't know if he'll be played because he cleared the test and last game he wasn't used. So if he comes in, it's going to be very difficult for RCB, especially with Varun Chakravarti also bowling 1 or 2 overs in the power play. So that's what, if they negotiate the power play, I think that'll be a big success for RCB. So that battle I'll be really looking forward to.
Right.
And
Hmm. And I'm sure the lower ranked teams, the teams in the lower half, would be hoping for an RCB win because the top three more look set if with an RCB win. So they won't want even Kolkata to pull away further from them from the race and
I think even Chennai is alive. If they win 4 games, that might be likely with the way they are playing. But every team is alive. 7 wins might be the threshold for making it to the next
14 points. Yeah.
So now people used to say 8 wins is the limit, but now last year you've seen that Sunrisers made it with just 6 wins.
Yeah.
So 16 and they made it. So anything can happen from here because the top 2 teams are unstoppable. Even though Delhi lost today, is flying high. So Delhi and Mumbai I think are almost there already, and Bangalore with a win will make sure that they are also there. And it may be needed, but I think 7 would be enough. So if Kolkata loses, then they'll be under huge pressure. So that'll be very interesting to see tomorrow.
Basically, 5 teams fighting for one spot.
Exactly.
That's what it'll come down to.